Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. This is
Hey,
Lucy. I'm back, and we have Andrea with us, of course. And we have Louis, who's our beautiful guest for today. We are excited he is going to teach us today and share with us today. We are expecting a lot of wisdom out of him. Um, and this is a topic that Andrea and I actually been discussing that is we want to implement in our daily life a little bit longer than the actual time we are putting in, um, because we understand that as we are putting all these messages out and we are staying busy online and everything, and it's like so much busyness going on. So we definitely want to learn from Louis today, his wisdom, and be able to take in and implement it in our life. And we want to be able to his wisdom to be able to share with all those thousand plus people that we're trying to inspire. And Andrea, unless you have anything else you want to say, I will let Louis take over.
Yeah, so have you
Andrea.
Andre, have you got anything to say?
no, I'm excited to hear what you've got to share with us today. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good evening, because it's like 6:30 or 7 here in London.
For you,
And
it is.
yeah, it's me, humble self, Louis, popularly known as Zaza Magic Udi. Have a podcast, Infinite Touches Lou. That's what the podcast is called. And on there, we give out positive vibrations and try to put music. Can be controversial at times because people try to ask me questions like, how do you mix spirituality with all this fun music that you play? But I've come to understand life from a different angle, that every step, every stage in our lives, while we're growing up as kids up to where we are now, was not a mistake. Every experience you've had, every hard time you've gone through, every good time, the bad, they were all kind of there to teach us something. So sometimes we learn them quickly, sometimes we don't. So when we learn these teachings quickly, we're quick to reflect and look back, and we understand connecting the dots till where we are. So my music, I kind of embraced all of me as a way of, what you call yoga. So, but yoga is seen in a different light, like where you stretch and all that exercise aspect. But when you go deep through the mystics, you find out that yoga actually is union. So union with all. So first, you can't get union with all if you don't have union with self. So you have to be able to embrace all of you before you be able to embrace anything outside of you, an extension of you, if you like. So I embraced every of my experience from childhood up till date, to be able to have a different pair of eyes, to look at the world differently, and appreciate every breath that I take. So that brings me to what meditation. So meditation is kind of the conscious awareness of the self being alive. And I
I think
appreciate it.
I
Sorry?
think yeah, I missed that. The Queen. Did you say the Queen?
No,
Oh,
meditation.
yes,
Did-
meditation.
yeah.
And you froze a little bit. You say meditation?
Oh, yeah. Meditation is like taking you, like you're pausing, taking every breath you take is you're consciously taking it.
Okay.
So as to you just walking around, we walk around every day without even taking note of aspect of us that is alive, that keeps us, alive, that keeps us, sensitive, that keeps us thinking, and some people take that for granted until they find themselves in hospital, bound, and they can't move. And all they want at that point is good health, nothing else. No amount of money counts anymore. You find out you just want to be up and about at that point. So rather than waiting until you break down to appreciate what you have, meditation is kind of you going to that self, having that quiet time, and observe all of you going inward. So it cuts across religion. It does not have anything to do with the Eastern religion, the Western religion, or the African cultural religion, whatever it is. It's just a human form of appreciating self, being in the present. And first of all, before you aspire for the future, how about the now? Every breath you take, can you consciously take that breath and count it and be conscious of how many times you breathe in and out, and there is no breakage whatsoever? And that is wealth. Not a lot of people know that until they find it hard to take that breath. So meditation is something that we all as humans can evolve into, applying to our everyday life. It could be at your place of work where, there's been a hectic day and it's all, up and down, busy. And maybe people getting on your nerves or the workload is high. How can you control the whole issue around you? Because it quickly leads to anxiety, which is one of the most common issues we have as humans. We get anxious quickly. So if you can pause for a minute and just say, okay, you know what? It's like my breath is going too fast. Because when you're getting angry, you take in breath, your breath level changes. You can't know this if you're not mindful. So you have to be mindful how your body operates and what it tells you. So you can go into a quiet space at your workplace and sit down and just close your eyes and just count your breath in and out. One in, the second one with breathing out, two, just like that. And then slowly closing your eyes, observing your organs, or from your top of your head down to your feet, how you take that breath. You soon find out that whatever that stress was, or the anger, or whatever was making you or getting you anxious, would die down gradually with the control of that breath. So it's something that I've come to appreciate, and my getting into meditation wasn't like I wanted to be spiritual when I got into it. It was just a way of trying to expand myself, like know more about my higher self. Spirituality, you can argue, is you're seeking for maybe something outside the ordinary, but meditation is nothing to do with outside the ordinary. Where people call prayers and you put words to it, meditation is almost like you're in the present and you're trusting the higher wisdom, the universe that has created you, without you telling it what you want. I didn't tell the universe I want to be looking like this. I can't remember saying that. All of us had that sort of appearance. Wow, this is me. You were giving birth to as a child. You crawled. After a time, you wanted to walk, and you started walking. After a time, you aspired because of people around you. So you're kind of going back now and appreciating all of nature that you're enjoying. every breath you take is appreciated. Every step you take, things don't happen to you by mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You begin to redefine. When you start being mindful through meditation, you begin to define your paths, and you begin to see life differently, which was what I wanted at the time. And I think it became deeper when I lost my dad at some years back. And that was like a moving time in my life. So I wasn't able to attend his funeral. It was that bad. So what I did was I asked the universe, like, why would this be happening? There's always that why,
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny that night, like I got that understanding, like he's transformed himself, he's transcended, to another level of being, as to death, where you feel like you've lost him. So through meditation or through being mindful, I could connect with the thoughts of the times I spent with him. You could go back to your past. So it is important for us to watch people we spend time with, because that can affect your mood of meditation. It also it can cloud your thought easily. So meditation is not something that you can just start overnight. I mean, your thoughts will play tricks on you. Your mind is going to be telling you all sorts. Like, you're going to be thinking about, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? Your mind is going to be running everywhere. Some people can call it mindfulness. That's one good way to start. So being mindful is just like, you just close your eyes and allow yourself be, and you observe rather than complain or, make any sort of point. You simply close your eyes and observe all the sounds, the cars passing by, your thoughts, negative or positive. And you kind of tell those thoughts to pause. And you create a blank space in your mind. For me, it was hard initially, but I was able to, create a blank space. So I kind of imagine a dark spot somewhere where I just go and be. And in that dark spot, there is no thoughts. There is nothing there. So I was able, the first time I did it, I forgot my password when I came back. It was like a wipe.
Oh, wow.
So I would advise anyone that if you really want to do meditation and you're going through mindfulness, you kind of write your password down, because it's something that you could forget, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I had that experience. So the next time I did mine was I had to write my password down so I could get access to my phone. It was that intense, because it's not easy for you as a human being with our minds busy, even while we're asleep. We still have that same busy mind like we have when we're awake. So while we're asleep, we're not really resting. Our mind is busy, but the body is just getting the energy back. But resting that mind is what that meditation does. Shutting the doors, going back to be like a baby again, if you like. Going back to be like a child again, if you like. Going back into that nothingness where everything is nothing, where there is absolute calm and you're not worrying about anything. So it is something that we do need in this day and age where we have busy environment, everybody's trying to, hit those targets. Sometimes we forget how to take care of our minds, how to take care of our, ourselves. Meditation would help you relax and open your mind, if you like, your higher senses, your higher self. You tap into it because your thoughts become structured. You excuse me, you no longer get clouded thoughts. You're more in tune with self, and you're guided, by a higher being. And I've done mine up to the extent where I get to the point now, I get these experiences and I'm like, how did it know that I would like that? That's nice. I call it quicker than the speed of thought. An experience that is exciting quicker than the speed of thought. I mean, I know physics brought there as there's nothing quicker than the speed of light. But in my mind, I'm like, thoughts can be quicker than the speed of light. I don't know. But the thought of light itself is a process. So for something to be quicker than you comprehending if that is light or darkness was what I was trying to express when I said to a guy the other day that, I believe the universe can communicate with you speeder than the speed of thoughts. So before you even put your thoughts out there, when you are in synchrony with the universe through meditation, you find out that you become like the plants outside, the trees out there. They're in one spot, but they're taken care of. They've got the cycle and seasons. And you become, one with all. Everything becomes an example to life, to you. Your steps are ordered. The birds can give you examples. The trees, the seasons, for instance, where you have, winter, summer, and all of that. Everything in the planet is working in a cycle, and they have seasons. And we as well have the sort of cycle and season as well. A lot of us sometimes want to be always up high there and say, oh, we're hitting the target. I want to be hitting, banging it. I'm hitting those targets. But it can't always be like that. There's a time for us to be fast and the time for us to be still. A time for us to talk and a time for us to listen. A time for us to be asleep and a time for us to be awakened. So meditation will help you recalibrate your human potentials, your human natures. It will bring magic into your life without you reading books, because I would say whatever we get that is pleasant to us, and it happens without huge effort or without us even expecting it, is magical. Waking up, for instance, is a magic. When we were asleep, no one knew where they were. We fell asleep, we didn't know where we were. We were opportune to be alive today, to have a second chance. So I see meditation as something that's just part of life. It's part of evolution of life, of humans. It's something that we all have to tap into. That sort of mindset of hold back. And if you like, you can call it take stocks. So hold back. What am I doing? For instance, without being judgmental, just take stock. what am I doing this very moment? Am I, moving? Am I standing? Am I too quick? Am I too hard on myself? Am I competing with others? Am I not competing? Am I supposed to be resting? Am I too anxious, for instance? All of that becomes a conscious living part of you when you meditate. And when I say meditate, some people can see it as mindfulness. Like when you're mindful, you can say you're meditative. Meditation is a more deeper. It goes like I see it like a V shape. So it's like a triangle turned upside down, because that's how our wants and needs in life are like. So it's like a V shape. It's always going up wide like that. There's never ending. We could go on till we die, needing, wanting, inventing, creating, like that. So it's just knowing how far you've come, appreciating the self. It's like you oiling your car, checking your radiators, everything is working well, your speed limits, check if the wipers are working well, That's what, for me, meditation is like. So I've kind of changed it into something that would be easily applied to my everyday life rather than in a religious manner, and it's been working for me. I've had lots of positive. I can't begin to start naming stuff. It's just turned now. Things that happen to me in my life is that I just take them like, okay, that is a normal phenomenon. But if I say it out to someone will be like, wow, that was nice. That's like high. But I've gone past that excitement of wow all the time. It becomes part of you, and the wow is no more wow. It's just an experience of life. And you become humble by it and know that there's a lot of potentials that we have or you had that you never tapped. And you'll be imagining like, what else can I tap on more? If I can experience all of this in this short period of time, what else is out there that I can tap? Now you're looking beyond wealth. Because a lot of us, what attracts us is when you talk about wealth, everybody wants to listen.
money.
Yeah, everybody wants to listen. Like, what's the quickest way, They want to listen to Bill Gates. They want to listen to Warren Buffett. How did they make it? All of that. If you like, it's not like I've read it anywhere. You find out that they had time that they spent on their own too. Without them knowing, they were doing mindfulness before manifesting. They had that quiet time. Not every human being has that. We like showing off. These people did not show off themselves. They were humble, had a plan, and it was something they enjoyed. And it turned out to become something that made them lots of money. If you ask them, like, did you see yourself making this amount of money the first day you thought of investment? They'll tell you no. So it's actually we being conscious of ourselves first of all, and all of that wealth that you're thinking of will come slowly. It becomes an adventure. Life becomes an adventure rather than a walk. It becomes something you enjoy. You're looking forward to the next day. You're not thinking, oh, I have to do this, or my day yesterday was hard. I hope tomorrow is not going to be like that. I need to get this sorted. I need to get that done, all hectic, and you be all jumping here and there, thinking like you have to be like that for you to feel effective or efficient. And you feel like you're achieving. But there are people out there that just seated in one spot. They're not really worried about, how this is going to happen. All they do is push keyboards, buttons, and they're making huge amount of money. people fighting across the globe and people making money from all that misunderstanding, you know? And no one is really going to give to you, oh, this is how you get wealth. Or I would, if I asked anyone here, no one would like, if you have the opportunity to say, okay, do you want to be like Bill Gates, or do you just want to have enough to just live? People that know about Bill Gates will say they want to be like Bill Gates. Yeah, but the work to put in there, it can never be like Bill Gates' work, because that was what made him unique. Yeah. So whatever you're bringing to the world has to be unique for it to create that impact like Bill Gates. Whatever you're bringing to the world has to be dynamic for it to create an impact like Warren Buffett, for instance. So if you go copying, it will be a replicate of what has already been. A replicate of what has already been is not is a common commodity, if you like. You know, but if you look at within yourself, you meditate, the gift that you've come to life with will manifest itself. It might not necessarily be you hitting the ceilings with Bill Gates or figures, but you'll be happy, you'll be content. Because these great men that we talk about today, they had their own ups and downs. They had family issues too. Now at that point, if you ask them, they will tell you they wanted to have that family stable than the huge amount of money that they had in the bank. You know, Warren Buffett didn't really buy houses as such. He had one house, very unique lifestyle that I respect a lot. Had a car he bought, very good car, always went somewhere to buy his breakfast. And I mean, he was humble at the same time. He had his own, you know, internal issues that are not publicly shared. But if you tell someone that with huge amount of wealth like that comes a responsibility and the inability maybe to be able to manage all these that you've acquired, would you still want it? People might want to weigh out options, you know? So sometimes we have something in us that the next man don't have. That's what makes us unique. So there's no second you. You can't find a second me. Even if we're a twin, there'll be something that differentiates us. So your unique commodity. So there's something we brought to this world. Everybody's come with some gift of a kind. If you search inward, you'll find that gift. And with that gift, everything becomes easy, because if you do a job that you enjoy, it's not work anymore. It becomes a hobby. And imagine you like a child, for instance, riding a bicycle and you're getting paid.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're riding a bike that you like and you're getting paid. You're enjoying it. You know, it becomes like that. So we need to look inward and look for that uniqueness, you know, and meditation can take you to those places where you've never been before, and it will expand your horizon. And, you know, you come out with things that initially maybe people will not get it, but eventually they will get it because you're a pathfinder. You become a pathfinder, you know, you pave ways, new paths, you know, you cross across boards, religions and continents. People will be wondering what is happening there because it's new. But eventually when they get hand of it, it makes sense. So that's why you have some people, some philosophers that have lived, came with some huge, you know, change to humanity. Not a lot of people took them seriously. Some were hanged. But eventually over time, people could understand where they were coming from. So sometimes it might be a huge price to pay, but it's not always money that is our sole purpose. So when we meditate and we put that figure in there, we're just following the masses out there. We're not all in this planet just to come and make money and go away. There's more things that are better than cash. Money is like a grease, so it just helps the ball roll easily. So when you know exactly what car to buy, getting the oil to put in it to help you run the car becomes easy. But if you don't know what car to buy and you've got the oil, which is the money, the grease, you'll probably be looking for a wrong car, or you will not have that right taste. And each car has unique oil that you can put in it. So it's always good we have that mindset of knowing what the sole purpose is. What is your calling? You know, I know the economy around might be, funny, making us try all sorts of things, but your friends might even talk you into some sort of business or whatever, but always have that time to go and meditate over it and find within yourself, is this something that I have passion for? Is this something I will enjoy? Is this something I can do effortlessly? And you would find out that if it's something that is not with your spirit, you would find the answer. Sometimes we force ourselves through it. No, if he can do it, I can do it too. It's not the way to go. No two human beings were born at the same time coming out at once. And then we're saying, oh, you know what, we're running a race from when we were toddlers. We came innocently with an open heart, maybe crying in a life that is hectic. And we grew up slowly learning things. So recalibrating the mindset away from all that school programming. We're coming to a new era where people start relearning what it means to become grown-ups or complete humans, if you like. It might sound funny now, but I had this design even in one of my brands where you have, where they bring the chronology of humans. But this time around, towards the end, you see a man with a suitcase running to his job. And some in the military, they put it that humans have evolved into carrying weapons, like a gun. But that brand I brought out was human evolving into union, yoga, into mindfulness, into meditating rather than being everywhere or anxious. So if you get into Zaza Magic brands, or it's that infinite being, you could see that there. That's what that was giving out. So emanating a different sort of programming, because what we buy, the books we read, the kind of programs we watch, the kind of friends we hang out with, the kind of conversation we work on, all affects our mind. So at the end of the day, when you sit down and you're being mindful into meditation, you'll find out that you've acquired a lot of baggages, a lot of information. Some are not even your fault. Maybe a friend has come to you complaining about an issue at work. You're just trying to sympathize with them, and a part of you has carried that burden along. It's always nice, that you're consciously, mindful, and then you can declog all of that before you end the day. So that is my short talk on mindfulness.
That was wonderful.
Hope you bless you.
Yeah, I was going to ask because for first of all, like for me, um, the reason I got involved in, wanting to do the meditation, everything is I have an interest of to want to accomplish more in life. And when you do want to accomplish more in life, this chattering mind, you can't, it gets on the way. But what I recognize also, which I came over, I passed that now, thank God, is I was having a hard time or that religion I wasn't sure where to begin. But and I'm glad you addressed that in the beginning, because you say this has nothing to do with the religion or location. This is
Yeah,
something that we have to, as a human being, we have to practice.
yeah,
So I'm so happy that I came to that place now, and I'm actually can sit down, and I have to, for me, I have to have 25 minutes, a minimum, for me to be able to get to that blank space actually.
yeah.
Um, but what is your recommendation? Because me and Andrea we made a new commitment for ourselves. We was going to do 25 minutes in the morning, 25 minutes at night, and then throughout a day, maybe just do 5 minutes, maybe like 3 times or 2 times throughout the day, 5 minutes. Do you have like a time recommendations that you recommend, like a minimum or maximum?
Yeah. There's no minimum or maximum
Okay.
to it. It is something that has to, like how I started was mindfulness. There's this app on the phone. You start gradually, so you don't just push the bar. So it's like manifestation now. For instance, they'll tell you, any expert will tell you, before you manifest a house, it's best you try and manifest something small, something your mind cannot doubt that you would manifest. So you could maybe, oh, I would like to, have someone, just smile at me today. And you start getting good at that. It happens to you frequently, and then you increase it to something else. It'll be nice to have, the sun just shine on me for till I get to work, or it'll be nice for me to see one of my friends just walk past, even if I just wave at them. And by the time your mind now start getting used to the power of your thoughts, you'll be able to step the bars up. So I started with 5 minutes, So initially you can start with 5 minutes, and then slowly do it to 10. Doing it properly is what matters. It's not
Yes.
the duration of time. So people that are into meditation a lot, they could just go into that state in less than 2 minutes.
I figure that.
So it doesn't take them 25 even.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's taking, I'm presuming when it's taking you 25, you have to, kind of observe everything coming to your mind and be able to tell yourself to calm down and get to that point when you're relaxed.
Yes.
And then you now get to that point where it's blank.
Yes.
So what you feel is just the fresh air around you and maybe your feet, and if that. So yes, there's no set time. So you do it at your convenience, what's best for you, because all of us were all different. So it's best for us to get some realistic target around that. So if you know that 5 minutes is too much for you, you could start with like 2 minutes. You put your time up and see what happens, and you slowly move it. And for me, I could do 1 hour, 2 hours meditation. I don't fall asleep. I'll just be there seated.
Wow.
Yeah.
I appreciate. Wow, that's
I seated like 1 hour, 2 hours, and you forget your arms, your feet, all that form goes away. So it becomes you're in a state. It's almost like bliss, a state between sleep and awake. But if someone comes around you, there you will know that someone is there. But within that process, you probably be seeing, if it's visions, you could see different things. You could be somewhere else, imagine through your thoughts, or you could just be in that present moment and you're calm. Your blood pressure goes down even when you do your meditation properly. If after meditation you take maybe you test yourself, or you go jogging after doing your exercise, and you can do that mindfulness and then go into meditation slowly to finish it all, is a good way to to have that holistic start or finish. So there's no set way, there's no set time for meditation. It's just it's up to you what you can accommodate or what you can take. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Wow.
Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does absolutely answer the question. I truly appreciate that. Andrea, you have anything you want to ask him?
I'm enjoying listening.
We truly appreciate you. This is wonderful. I believe in it is a need for sure, for us to meditate, and I understand coming from a place of having a hard time accepting it. Um, for some reason, no one in the family taught me that is something is wrong with it, but it's just in my mind something it was saying no to. But I trust whoever is out there is listening to this message today will just if they are feeling some sort of challenge in their mind and they need that peacefulness, meditation is a place for them to be able to start. And as you have shared it with us, there is no time restriction. We can start from 1 minute, 2 minutes, and see where that takes us. And you say our wealth is there. Actually, it's not the cash alone.
Yeah.
And because with our teaching, Andrea and I, right now we are discussing a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and you understand that part. So this is definitely a needed topic. So it was a beautiful surprise, and thank you so much for your time. And I trust everybody is blessed by your message today. And unless you have anything you want to say to our viewers, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll just say thank you for having me, and I hope this has been a blessing.
Yes, it is. It is for me. Andrea, thank you so much for your time. And Lou, thank you so much for your time. I am going to definitely find your information and start following the podcast you were referring to us. And even if there is any information, actually, we can share it in our Inspiring 1,000 people, because we don't really have much of the meditation stuff that we posted. So we will love to share it with you. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.